Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to our Friday edition of our show. I'm your host, Joe Grado. Thank you for kicking off your weekend with us. Here it is at A's Day. Today is Friday, June 20th, and it is a very special day for me, as I want to wish my grandma a happy birthday. Very happy birthday. She spent the day at the shore with my dad. Sounded like a very pleasant time. Wish we could be there in person. But nevertheless, I know she will be listening to this. So wanted to give a quick birthday shout out to her. Love you, Grandma. On today's show, we are going to be discussing what went down in the A's previous series. They had a 4-game tilt against the AL West leading Houston Astros. We'll discuss what went down, some drama built into that series for sure. Then later, as we roll along, we will be sure to preview their next series as the A's continue their homestand before hitting the road with a 3-game weekend series welcoming the Cleveland Guardians over the weekend. So we'll give you some hitters to watch out for, pitching matchups, game start times, all of that good stuff, as well as giving our home run prediction and series prediction, which we actually got both right with the previous series. So you'll have to stay tuned and listen to the recap of the Astros A series to see how it went down and all of those good details. And then at the end of today's show, we are going to have a little announcement, an event that is going to be coming up and may tie into our Sacramento content weekend coming up in July. So stick with us through the end of today's episode. Definitely have an exciting opportunity to potentially win a giveaway raffle item, as well as connect with A's Day and watch some A's baseball in downtown Sacramento. We'll get to that at the end of today's show. Don't want to jump too far ahead. Certainly some dramatics against the Astros. Can't wait to talk about it. I bet we talk quite a bit about Nick Kurtz as a little hint there. So without further ado, Holy Toledo, let's get to it. Thank you again for tuning in to our Friday show of A's Day. We're so glad that each and every one of you could join us to hear our thoughts on A's baseball. Just as a reminder, you can find us on our social media platforms, on Instagram at A's Day Baseball Podcast, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at A's Day Baseball, on our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast, and be sure to become an official subscriber with us on our Patreon site, patreon.com/A's Day for just $2 a month. You'll be entered to win monthly A's Day t-shirts, A's autographed memorabilia, A's future game ticket giveaways, and so much more as we are able to grow this platform collaboratively. All right, and with that, let's just get right into the recap of the series against the Houston Astros. Had a little bit of an alteration of the Game 1 probable starter for the Astros. Originally was scheduled to be Lance McCullers Jr., He was a late scratch due to an injury and ended up on the 15-day IL. Hope he gets better soon. So instead, Ryan Gusto was tasked with starting on the mound for the Astros. He was slated to pitch Game 2 of the series. He'll be going up against Mitch Spence for the green and gold. Astros would get the scoring going in the first inning with 2 outs as Jose Altuve. He would crush a solo home run. It would be 1-0 Astros. Would remain 1-0 until the 5th. When the A's finally got on the board, bye-bye J.J. Bleday blasts a no-doubter to right center, his 8th on the year. It's now 1-1. Both bullpens really went to work from there and really seemed to lock it in and keep the offenses off of the scoreboard up until the 9th inning. From the 5th inning till the 9th, the Astros, they pitched 3 innings, 2 hits allowed, no walks, 2 Ks, and the A's, they were par for the course as they also put in 3 innings of work, 1 hit allowed, no walks, 5 Ks, a.k.a. it was all JT Ginn, who was fresh off the injured list, back with the A's, really making an impact in the back stretch of this game. Mason Miller, he pitched a 1-2-3, 9th with 2 Ks, giving the A's an opportunity to walk it off in the home half. On would come Brian Abreu from the Astros bullpen. After a leadoff walk to Brent Rooker, well, it was certainly time for fireworks. First baseman rookie Nick Kurtz demolishes one to deep right center field, way back there, and this one is gone. Nick Kurtz smashes one 447 feet, the longest walk-off homer of the season and since 2023. How about Spence to Ginn to Miller, and then to Kurtz, who says, "Good night, Houston. Ball game over. A's win this one 3-1. in dramatic fashion. So what an exciting game and finish. It was such a tightly contested game from like just you had scarce offense early in this one. Actually, all throughout, to be honest. I mean, only 4 runs combined. Absolute brilliant pitching on both sides. And how about the A's? Mitch Spence, 5 innings, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 Ks in the bullpen. They went to work, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 7 Ks. So, I mean, I know both bullpens did an outstanding job, but the A's pitching just did a little bit better. I think Spence set the tone. He was doing a good job of mixing speeds, getting ahead of hitters, and keeping that pitch count under control once again. So it's really good that Spence really seems to be doing a good job of keying into that swingman role. He did start the year as a long reliever. He's since been slotted into a starting role as he has shown more consistent effectiveness. And until he starts to falter or he needs to step out in a different capacity, whatever the case may be, we're going to keep saying him get it every fifth day and give the team an opportunity to win, it seems like. So really wanted to give a hats off to the pitching. They did an outstanding job in this game, really giving the A's every opportunity to win this one late, which they certainly capitalized on. JJ Bleday, obviously he gets off to the tough start this year, gets sent down to AAA, trying to rediscover himself, find his swing again. We do know the all-star potential player that he can be. Now, obviously, coming back up, he's no longer in the center fielder. Things are a little bit different with Denzel Clark flashing absolute defensive wizardry in center field already, winning 3 electric performances or whatever it's called, 3 awards for being basically a defensive wizard at such an early stage in his career. So Bleday has shifted to left field and embraced that role as well. I do think he's done a good job since his return. And it's really good to see him really be on time and drive the ball to right center with authority. Hopefully that's something that really get that back going. And Nick Kurtz, he really does have a flair for the dramatic. He seems to love to hit late inning home runs. Hits another big one here, 447 feet, and such a sick bat flip for sure. I mean, he knew it right away. Flips her right towards the boys in the dugout who are going wild for him. It was absolute baseball theater. And he seems to be a guy that he was a gamer. He wants to win every night. And that young, competitive play with a chip on his shoulder and edge seems to be infectious and growing in that A's dugout and clubhouse. So really good for Kurtz. And hey, we predicted that he was going to hit a home run in the series. So glad he knocked that out game 1 of 4. Not bad. So we can sit back. We can relax a little bit. But no, really outstanding game there. Really, Tyler, it felt like a playoff game, to be honest. And obviously it's nowhere near that kind of parameter. And the A's would have a lot of work to do to get back into that discussion. But nevertheless, kind of had that feel. The crowd was into it. Not the biggest of crowds, but certainly the ones that were there were into it and cheering on the A's, and there was plenty of Astros fans sprinkled in there too as well. Plenty of boos towards Altuve, who smashed another home run against an AL West opponent. I don't think fans understand that the booing seems to get him going. So the next time, maybe, I understand why. There's many reasons why to boo. I get it, but he seems to thrive off adversity. So maybe we got to take him down with kindness. We'll maybe have to change the approach there. But hey, usually I'm sure for his perspective, you usually boo the greats. So maybe it's a compliment to him, although there's a lot more tied to that. Anyway, that would be another discussion maybe on our bases, barrels, and ball players. That could be a topic of discussion about baseball fandom and all that. Anyway, we'll move right along here to game 2. We'll get back on topic as we would see if the A's would continue their momentum from the dramatic finish in game 1 with the Nick Kurtz walk-off homer, or if the Astros would bounce back. As Jason Alexander, no, not George Costanza from Seinfeld, but Jason Alexander, who was with the A's in spring training and started the year at AAA before getting called up to the A's briefly before being designated for assignment. And the Astros picked him up. So, of course, he's going to be taking the ball on the mound for game 2. Hopefully it fares well for the green and gold, but you know how that usually goes in terms of that competitive drive. He'd be going up against J.P. Sears, who was looking to build off his good performance in his last outing against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. In the first, Jacob Myers brought home 2 to make it 2-0 Astros pretty quickly. Cam Smith, he would hit a solo home run to center in the second. Astros would continue to flex their power in the fourth as Smith would add another. his second homer of the day, as well as Mauricio Dubon getting in on the homer party. They go back to back. Astros are now up early and quickly 5-0. As you can see, we are breezing through this because that was the kind of the theme of this game. It wasn't pretty. JP Sears, he gets roughed up in this one. He only lasted 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits allowed, 5 runs, 3 walks, didn't strike anybody out, and allowed 3 home runs. On would come Osvaldo Bido, and well, his reception to the game wasn't very warm from the Astros offense. They would put up a 4 spot in the fifth. Christian Walker blasted a 2-run home run. Isaac Paredes added a 2-run single. All of a sudden, you blink, it's 9-0 Astros. Astros added 2 more in the seventh before the A's finally got on the board with a 3 spot in the seventh as Gio Urshela, welcome back freshly off the IL. He gets an RBI single. Nick Kurtz, he scored after an E5, and Luis Urias, he grounded into a double play. Run would score on the play. It is now 11-3. Astros, for good measure, of course, the Astros would add 2 more in the eighth. It's now 13-3. That's your final. Nothing much to see here. Ball game over. Astros win, and the series is tied up. So rough outing from Sears. Starting to get a little concerned there. It seems to be some more rougher outings than not. Started the year so solidly, consistently, and not really sure what has gone on. And I knew, just like hitters, I do know pitchers too sometimes go into a funk. It could be a mechanical thing. It could be a mental thing. But he seems to be falling behind hitters a lot more than he was earlier in the year. And that's something that hopefully he can kind of go back to the drawing board, reset, and get ready for his next fifth day. Because all in all, he's typically a guy who is going to give you a chance to win every time he's out there. I love his competitive drive. Normally, he's all attack, attack, attack. Lately, just something seems a little bit off. He did have a good outing against the Angels. But then there was like 3, I believe, rough ones before that. So hopefully he's just working through some things and just tweaking his mechanics or tweaking pitch sequencing, whatever it may be, just making the adjustments. That's what this game is all about. And I have no doubt in my mind that he will bounce back. But this day, unfortunately, just was not his. Astros bounce back in a big way. There's a reason why they are in first place. You look at the roster, they have all that old squad in terms of, Correa, Springer, Bregman, all those guys are gone. These are some fresh new faces aside from Altuve. And obviously, Yordan Alvarez will be back, but he's missed quite a bit of time due to injury. And Kyle Tucker's up in Chicago. So it's not the same old Astros, but like I mentioned in the preview, they just seem to do such a good job of rebooting through their farm system. And then they'll go out there and they'll add a bat like Christian Walker. They'll go out and add arms if they need. They'll go bolster their bullpen like they did back when they got Josh Hader. So they are capable of those moves and being active in free agency and trades, but they do seem to like the player development within their organization to begin with having their hands and their fingerprints all over it and developing them in their championship vision. And, well, whether you like it or not, Houston's been here for, quite a while now. It started probably back in 2015, and they really haven't let up since. And look, you look up, and this was kind of a year where maybe there's some more unpredictability leading into the 2025 campaign in terms of the outlook for the AL West. You wondered if Seattle was going to take that next step. They had the pitching if they were going to be able to hit. The Angels didn't really seem to have a direction. The A's young ascending team seemed to make a big jump from the year prior. More expectations. You wonder if they were going to work their way in the playoff relevancy. And then obviously you have, that team remaining. You wondered what you were going to get out of Houston, right? And you just, the last several years, you penciled them in. They're going to be first in the AL West, or at the worst, they're going to be a wild card. This year, you didn't know. There was just a lot of question marks, a lot of unknowns. Well, this team is really rocking and rolling. They came in playing some pretty good baseball, and they just keep doing the thing. That's really what it is. They have that championship DNA. They have that championship culture, and year in and year out, it's reinstilled, and it helps that you have a longtime guy in Jose Altuve. This is certainly a team that if they lose a game, especially in heartbreaking fashion like they did in game one, there's a pretty good chance they're going to bounce back. And like they did in this game, they bounced back in a big way. Just a tough game for the green and gold all in all. Jason Alexander, of course, he had his revenge start. He went 6 innings in this one, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Sad that it was at the A's expense, but happy that he had a good performance. We had an opportunity to actually meet him while he was with the A's during spring training, so wanted to shout him out real quick. He really threw the ball well and pitched well with that lead. So Obviously, wish he would have pitched well and the A's would have won, but nevertheless, at least that's the good that can come out of it. So Urshela is back in action, which is good to see. Add some more depth to the infield crew. He had an RBI single in this one. All you can do with these type of games, you play 162 of them. Some are going to go good, some are going to go bad, some will be right in between. But nevertheless, you got to wipe it away, go to bed, wake up the next day, and the new mission and task is to win that next game. Come back strong for game 3. As game 3 would feature a really good pitching matchup. Astros would be going with it was the battle of the aces, as Astros would be going with Framber Valdez, the tough customer left-handed pitcher, going up against Luis Severino. Good pitching matchup indeed, as the A's would get the scoring going in this one in the second, as Austin Wynns ripped an RBI single to bring home Nick Kurtz to make it 1-0. Doesn't it seem like we've been saying Nick Kurtz's name a lot? Yeah, it seemed like he got on base all series. Of course, the Astros would answer right back. Mauricio Dubon would hit a solo home run to dead center, his second homer of the series, to tie this game at 1. On to the fourth, the Astros would take a 2-1 lead on a Jeremy Pena RBI single, would remain that score until the 6th. Sevy, well, this is probably one of his better home performances, as he has still tried to find his footing there, but this one was a decent enough performance. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 2 runs, 1 walk, and the 5 Ks. On would come Tyler Ferguson in the 6th. Well, didn't work out for him, unfortunately. Let the nightmare begin, as the Astros would put up a 7th spot. Jose Altuve, he hits a 3-run homer, his second of the series. Cam Smith, he adds another RBI double. Victor Caratini, the catcher, he hits a 3-run home run. All of a sudden, just like that, within minutes, it's 9-1 Houston. A's would get one back on a Nick Kurtz RBI single in the bottom half. It's now 9-2. Each team would play 2 more runs in the 9th. Houston, they would get an RBI double from Jacob Myers and a Jeremy Pena RBI groundout. And as for the A's, well, they at least put up 2 in the final frame. Nick Kurtz, he hit a home run, and Max Schumann, he added an RBI single. That's a final. Ball game over. Astros win game 3 of this 4-game set, 11-4. So they battled Framber. Let's start with the positives in this one. We knew going in that this was going to be, I thought, their toughest task. Valdez, he's an ace for a reason. He's having another all-star type season. He does a good job really driving that baseball down to the lower half of the strike zone, and he can work both sides of the plate. He can mix speeds. He is one tough customer indeed. And he's tough on both sides too, besides just the left on left. But righties seem to struggle to really get anything, much of anything in the air. So the fact that the A's were able to come out with an approach, with a plan, work his pitch count a little bit and get an early run there. And Austin Wynns, he keeps delivering, which is good to see. The new catcher signing, if you haven't been keeping up. But yeah, it was good that they were able to capture that lead early. Unfortunately, the Astros, they're never going to go away, and they're going to keep scrapping back and find ways to even the score, if not get back into it. And they used it. They can score in a variety of ways. So obviously they flashed a good amount of power in the series so far, but they can also put some base hits together and string it together. And you saw it. You know, they got the rally started with that home run to dead center by Dubon, and then they pieced together at bats from there. And Jeremy Pena cashed in later in the inning with an RBI single. So that's two different methods of attack. Those are the different things you see when you start calling teams a versatile offense. And I believe you can put the Astros firmly in that category, because that 6th inning is another example. They had the 3-run home run, but granted, listen to what I'm saying. 3-run home run, RBI double. So obviously you're connecting hits there, and then a 3-run home run. But what are you doing? Besides just hitting for power, you're getting runners on base. So you're not just hitting solo home runs. In my opinion, solo home runs, that's great if you hit it for power, but that's not really stringing anything together. You're not really getting any consistent momentum from that. When you can have a consistent pattern of getting a runner or 2 runners on, adding that pressure, and then having that kill shot there, I just think that means more in putting up that crooked number and really spreading that positive momentum throughout the lineup and keeping that offensive wheel churning. So I just think that's really something that Houston has shown us, a lot of offensive versatility throughout the series. Just that kind of nightmare of a game. Sevy, like I said, he was pretty good in this one. Not his best performance, but definitely one of his better ones at home. Only the 2 runs allowed in 5. Definitely something to build off of for his next start at home. That was a nightmare 6 for Ferg, unfortunately. It was just one of those situations that it happened so quickly that the time that you're getting someone else up and loose, it's kind of the damage is already done. When you have 2 3 run home runs in an inning, it just seemed like it happened. So like you had the mound visit in there, but it just unraveled so quickly. It was just one of those situations that couldn't get someone else ready in time, and then by the time you get to the end of it, this game's kind of unfortunately out of hand at that point. Nick Kurtz, he's really got a hot bat. He hits another home run in this one. Ever since he got that first homer the other day, I think it was against Kansas City, he really seems to have found that power stroke again. So good, always good to see that, the hero. And now he's got another home run in the series. So anyway, this was one of those tough games again. Now you have back-to-back dud type of performances, but this one was a little bit different because I do feel like they were battling more consistently throughout until that sixth inning. As compared to the game before, I think they were just out of it very early. But this one felt different, and they battled. Fromber, nevertheless, not close to the result that they're looking for. But the good news, they get an opportunity, one more game in this series against the Astros, an opportunity to not lose the series, but to defend your home stadium. And it's hard to win a 4-game set, so to earn a split would be a step in the right direction, especially against the team that's in first place in your division. So let's see what would happen. Game 4 was left-handed pitcher Colton Gordon going up against Jacob Lopez, another lefty, the battle of the lefties. A's would once again get the scoring started in the second. How about catcher Willie McIver blasting a solo home run to center field? That is his first home run in the major leagues. Congrats to Willie. We also had the opportunity to briefly meet him in spring training. Seemed like a really great guy. Love his infectious energy and love for the game. It's really something. It's a joy to watch him play the game in between the lines. First of many to come. Lawrence Butler later in the inning, he would deliver a solo home run of his own, his 11th of the year, giving the A's an early 2-0 lead. The Astros would get on the board in the fifth via an RBI groundout. Astros would cut the deficit in half at this point. It's now 2-1. But that would be Jacob Lopez's lone blemish in this one, as he was absolutely dominant. Lopez, he lasted 6 innings in this one, 4 hits allowed, 1 run, 3 walks, 9 Ks. A's would get one in the sixth on a Jose Altuve throwing error, allowing Max Muncy to score to make it 3-1. In the seventh, shortstop Jacob Wilson, who collected his 100th hit of the season earlier in this one, would blast a solo home run that went so high it seemed to scrape the moon. We actually posted it on our story, said Moonball, that highlight, and Jacob Wilson gave it a view. So shout out to Jacob Wilson for checking out the A's Day podcast Instagram story. It's now 4-1 A's at this point. It's all looking good. On would come JT again. After recording 2 outs and allowing 2 base runners, Mark Hotze, he wanted his closer. On would come Mason Miller attempting the 4-out save. Unfortunately, Victor Carantini tells him to think otherwise. Again, as he blasts a 3-run home run to right center field to tie this game at 4, his second of the series. Oh no, not again. Miller was back out for the ninth, and he puts up a 0, setting up the A's with another opportunity for a dramatic finish in this one. On would come Astros closer Josh Hader in a 4-4 game. A's went down 1-2-3 in the ninth, meaning it would be a night of some free baseball for the folks in Sacramento. To the 10th we go. Michael Kelly summoned out of the A's bullpen to keep this game tied, and he does just that with a scoreless frame. To the bottom of the 10th, A's would need one off of Hader as he was back out for another. Sodi advanced to third on a wild pitch during Muncy's at-bat. Soderstrom was the automatic runner at second base. The newer extra inning rules, we have a runner on second, nobody out to start the inning. That's why he was already there. Well, he advanced to third base on a wild pitch during Max Muncy's at-bat. After Max Muncy did strike out against Hader, on would come Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz gets the pitch, and he drives it to deep center field. That ball's way back at the track, at the wall. She's gone. Nick Kurtz, are you kidding me? Take a bow, big fella. His 3rd home run of the series, 2nd walk-off homer in 4 days. He ain't no rookie no more. Ball game over. A's win this exciting one in dramatic fashion, 6-4, and split the 4-game series. So, wow. What a finish to this series. And it was an exciting game with bookends. So game 1 obviously ends in dramatic walk-off fashion, as does game 4. Game 2 and 3, don't even want to talk about those. Those were brutal. to be honest, by game's end. That was tough. Those were tough to watch, but nevertheless, A's do a good job. Had an opportunity to send the fans home happy twice, and they did. And it's really a good stepping stone to see where they are at. And they've proved they can play with the Astros. Their kryptonite seems to be the Angels, to be like that, to me. I mean, they're 0-7, I think, against them this year. So head scratcher there. I mean, the Angels obviously are playing some better baseball than expected for sure. But to go 0-7, I don't think they're that much better. But anyway, that's for another time. Jacob Lopez was brilliant in this one, and he seems to really be getting better and better every fifth day that he gets the ball and he gets to start ever since he's gotten into this rotation. Another 6-inning performance. Really did a good job of just setting the tone and allowing the A's to just chip or keep adding on to that lead, and pitching with a lead. Got ahead of hitters, didn't pitch scared, mixing his pitch sequences brilliantly, and had hitters off balance for the majority of the night. Jacob Wilson, absolutely brilliant. Tied now for the MLB lead in hits at 101 with Yankees' Aaron Judge. He's leading the AL shortstop in votes, by the way. So be sure to vote as much as you can on the MLB site, in the app, wherever you can, at the stadiums when you're at games. Got to get him to be the starting shortstop in Atlanta. He more than deserves it. Besides what he's doing as a rookie, what he's doing as a baseball player is impressive. And I do think he should be rewarded for the fruits of his efforts. And so far, he is the AL leading shortstop. Hopefully it stays that way because he definitely has earned it. And, today being June 20th, I think he's built enough of a resume to be the AL starting shortstop. And if he's not, that's going to be a separate podcast episode. So we're not going to have to worry about that because I'm very confident that it is going to be the case. Nevertheless, how about Nick Kurtz? Hold on. Let's clap it up for Kurtzy. Nick Kurtz, another walk-off home run, his second in 4 days. You can just see the raw emotion as soon as he makes contact with that ball. He sees the flight of it. Know he's won it for the boys. And that guy, he is all about winning. And I'm really excited to see how he develops. I mean it when I was going through the recap. He's no longer – he's going to be considered a rookie. But the way he's swinging the bat, he hit 2 walk-off home runs against 2 top-end, back-end relievers in Brian Abreu and Josh Hader. These aren't any run-of-the-mill relievers. These are some better relievers, the game's better relievers that have pitched in some high-leverage situations and have plenty of experience. And going up against Kurtz, wow. Kurtz looked like the established veteran in both of those situations. He knew exactly what he was looking for. Takes that nice, relaxed swing, and it's like a lever, and it just blasts off of his bat. Really impressive, and he's just getting started. We haven't even seen the full scope of what Nick Kurtz can do, but you're seeing this power really take off, and he seems to be fully back in the swing of things since his return from the IL. He's got to be player of the week, or at least AL rookie of the week or whatever. To have 2 clutch home runs like that against the Astros, have a hit in every game, drive the ball with authority like he's had, and be a pretty direct reason why your team wins 2 games, that's got to be taken into some serious consideration. So I'm very excited to see what the results of that at the beginning of next week. So certainly good vibes in this situation heading into the weekend. Let's do quickly 3 stars. Since there was an exciting start and finish to this one. They didn't lose the series, so we'll do this rather quickly. 3rd star, we're going to give it to Willie McIver. Just want to give him another shout out. He hit his first major league home run of his career, so excited for him. Congratulations to Willie. Like I said, this is the first of many to come, but couldn't have it happen to a guy that seems to just play with raw passion and emotion and love for the game. Hopefully it's the first of many that come, and looking forward to seeing him grow at the A's and continue to have success at the big league level. It's really a joy to watch him play, to be honest. Every time he's in the lineup, tune in a little bit extra to see what he's doing. 2nd star, Jacob Lopez. He had that superb performance in the rubber match of this one. Again, 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, 1 run, 3 walks, and 9 Ks. Another dominant performance from him. He's really establishing and carving out a firm role in that A's rotation. And then I think it goes without saying the obvious. Our 1st star, first baseman, Nick Kurtz. He went 6 for 16 in this series with 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 2 doubles, 5 runs scored, 2 walk-off homers. He had a hit in every game. I mean, what a stud. What a performance. Shout out Nick Kurtz. Couldn't be happier for him and looking forward to seeing what he does for an encore over the weekend. It's really a exciting time watching his at bats and seeing him pick through pitch sequences. And when he really gets a pitch he can drive, it's fun to see him really get into one and get his hips into it. So let's see what he's got for the Guardians over the weekend. Let's get to that as we are going to be discussing the A's welcoming in the Cleveland Guardians for 3 before they kick off next week on the road in Detroit. So we're going to do it a little bit differently today. We're going to save our advertisement for the end of today's show just because it's going to tie in with our announcement at the end. So we're going to keep on rolling here and go right into our preview. So we're talking Cleveland. We're talking A's. On the 2025 season, the Guardians are 37-36 on the year, second in the American League Central Division. Their manager, well, A's fans out there should be very familiar with this name. Former A's catcher Stephen Vogt is the manager of the Guardians. He was AL Manager of the Year. He spent 6 years of his Major League career behind the dish for your green and gold. So it will be nice to see a familiar face back in California. In their last series, the Guardians took 2 out of 3 at San Francisco, out at Oracle Park. So the Guardians have been out here on the West Coast for at least a few days. They won game 1 3-2, won game 2 4-2 before losing the rubber match of that series and a tight one 2-1. So certainly seemed to be pitching and defense were the theme in that series. Let's talk about their team stats on the year and how they rank against other MLB teams. So offensively, they're hitting .231 as a team, which is 25th in baseball. They've slugged 74 home runs, which is 20th. And they've scored 278 runs, which is 25th in baseball as well. On the mound, they are pitching to a 3.91 ERA, which is 18th in baseball. They've logged 610 strikeouts, which is also 18th. And they've issued 269 walks, which is actually the 5th most in baseball. So leaves you scratching your head and wondering, how is this team getting it done? And I guess they are right at a game over 500 and right in the thick of things for the AL division race. But you would think with a team with those rankings would be a little bit lower down. But nevertheless, I guess they're getting timely performances at timely situations. Let me give you some hitters to watch. I'll give you 3 hitters to watch on this Guardians team. They do seem to be more built on pitching and defense, but they've got a little scrappy lineup nevertheless. But they are led by probably one of the most underrated players, Mr. Consistency himself, Jose Ramirez, their third baseman. He's hitting .318 on the year with 13 home runs, 35 runs batted in, a 908 OPS, and he actually has 20 stolen bases on the year too as well. So that sounds like someone that can do it all. And he could pick it pretty good at third base as well. Second is left fielder Stephen Kwan. He's hitting an even .300 on the year with 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in, and a 782 OPS. He has also added 10 stolen bases on the campaign thus far. And at first base, you got Kyle Manzardo. He's a power guy. He's hitting .212 on the year with 11 home runs, 31 runs batted in, and a 726 OPS. Now, it's important to listen to this part so that you will know when to tune in to listen or watch the green and gold and what the pitching matchups are going to be looking like. So game 1 is tonight, 7:05 first pitch Pacific time, as Tanner Bybee will be taking the mound for the Guardians going up against Jeffrey Springs. Tomorrow, Saturday, will also be a night game, 7:05 first pitch. Luis Ortiz for the Guardians will be going up against Mitch Spence. And then Sunday, the rubber match will be a day game in Sacramento. Slade Ciccone will be going up against JP Sears. All right, let's get to know the Guardians pitchers that this A's offense is going to have to battle over this weekend, starting with Friday night's probable starter. Have to make sure to say that just in case there are any last-minute changes after this episode is released. But the probable starter is Tanner Bybee. On the year in 14 starts, he has pitched to a 4-6 win-loss record with a 3.79 ERA. In 80 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 72 hits. He's logged 65 strikeouts, allowed 26 walks, and a 1.21 whip. In his last start, he lasted 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. He works with a 6-pitch mix: fastball, cutter, sweeper, sinker, changeup, and curveball. His fastball averages 94.4 miles an hour. his MO, he has standout command and control of his repertoire. He's certainly one of those tough customers. I would say he fits that bill, maybe the second tier of tough customers if we're making a whole stack of different types of pitchers. Again, that might be another episode. Fastball, it has good ride in life, good vertical movement, and velo separation. He is very tough on left-handed hitters, especially with that changeup. It really fades away, looks like it's there, and really breaks away at the very last second. So he's someone that can work to all quadrants of the plate, change speeds very effectively. Especially, he's another that type. You can probably get to him early in the game before he really settles in with his command. But nevertheless, once he settles in, it's just that game moves rather quickly. So hopefully the A's can do some damage on him early, get some pressure on him, especially with Bobby pitching in an unfamiliar territory. His sinker, it aids in his ground ball rate, 42.7% on the year. Fastball has been more hittable. So these hitters need to be ready to hit. I'd say, especially left-handed hitters like Butler and Sodi should be ready to drive that fastball earlier in the count so they don't have to deal with that low and away fading changeup that it's going to miss the barrel more times than not. So certainly of note, Bybee has seen a decrease in whiffs, chases, and strikes thrown with the fastball in 2025 so far. So something to key on to see if that trend continues on Friday night. Game 2 starter for the Guardians is Luis Ortiz. On the 2025 year, he's also made 14 starts. He has racked up a 3-8 win-loss record with a 4.64 ERA. In 75 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 72 hits, racked up 81 strikeouts, allowed 39 walks, and has logged a 1.47 whip. In his last start at Seattle, got the loss, but he did go 6 innings, 5 hits, gave up the 6 runs, so not his best start. 5 walks allowed, 5 Ks, so definitely seemed to be a situation of just trying to save as much of the bullpen as you can in that situation in a tough start. 5-pitch mix. He works with a fastball, slider, sinker, cutter, changeup. He works with a little more gas on his fastball. He averages 96 on that fastball in terms of miles an hour, which is in the 78th percentile, according to Baseball Savant. He's a ground ball pitcher for certain. He likes to work with downward action on that fastball and sinker. 47.1 ground ball percentage, which is 72nd percentile, according to Baseball Savant. He generates consistent swing and miss. Whiff percentage is 29.3, which is 76th in all of baseball, the 76th percentile. Struggles with consistent command, though, for sure, and control. He will fall behind hitters. So he has a high reliance on fastball, so you can kind of rule out those secondary pitches. So you really want to just make sure that if you're the A's hitters, not to chase those secondary. Sit on that heater. You're going to get a ton of them, and stay in your zone. If you have that opportunity, you may be able to drive out that pitch count and work his way out of the game sooner rather than later. He does allow a lot of traffic, so I expect some more opportunities for the A's here, and what they're going to have to do is really key in and have those quality at-bats and runners in scoring position and make that a more positive trend over the duration of the season. And then Game 3 starter is Slade Ciccone. He will be the Sunday starter in the rubber match, the day game. On the 2025 year, he's made 6 starts so far. He's 2-3 on the year with a 4.15 ERA. In 30 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 30 hits, racked up 34 strikeouts, allowed 11 walks, and is pitching to a 1.35 whip. In his last start, they won 3-2 at San Francisco. He lasted 5 innings, he lasted 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Ciccone works with a 5-pitch mix, a fastball, slider, changeup, sinker, and curveball. He generates above average swing and miss for sure. 29.7 whiff percentage, which is 79th percentile in all baseball, according to Baseball Savant. And his K percentage is 25.8, which is 73rd percentile in all baseball. His best 2-pitch mix is fastball slider, but it's the secondary pitches from there that are quite inconsistent. So if you can keyhole one of those 2 pitches and then he starts trying to dig deeper into his repertoire, I do think that's where you can see some success for A's hitters. His pitch sequencing isn't the best either. He's certainly someone that has kind of fit the bill as could be quite dominant first time around, but then that second, third time around, the hitters are able to make a significant adjustment, and then you kind of see the opponent batting average jump from there. You see the ERA climb a little bit too as well. So something to keep a note of, even if it kind of looks like that Ciccone has the A's lineup number early. that could change for the better rather quickly as you get into that second, third time around. As you kind of see what he's got, A's offense makes their adjustments, could see some middle to late inning success here as well. All right, let's get to our home run prediction and series prediction before we make our announcement and then get on out here. So first, we are going to predict, and we got it right in our last series as we predicted Nick Kurtz was going to at least hit a home run in that 4-game series. He did us 2 better and hit 3. So we are going to keep the ball rolling here and predict that Tyler Soderstrom is going to hit a home run this weekend. I do think with the righties lined up, this is going to fare well for left-handed hitters. And I do think Sody is going to get a Sody pop here. So tune in to see when he does that. And in terms of our series prediction, we believe that the A's are going to keep the good times rolling, and they're going to win this series 2 games out of 3. We do think they will lose a tight one to Tanner Bybee tonight, 5-2, before bouncing back over the weekend and grabbing 2. We think they'll win tomorrow, 5-3. And then we think Sunday will be a little bit more of an offensive slugfest between it being a day game, might be a little bit warmer, and the pitching matchup may favor the offense a little bit more there. We do think the A's will win a higher offensive game, 10-6. All right. So that's a wrap on that. Hope each and every one of you are able to enjoy the Guardians A's series over the weekend. Hopefully the A's do nothing but win. All right. Now we are going to introduce a new advertisement. It is for Drake's Brewing Company, and we're going to be doing a series of these over time. But first, we are going to start with an advertisement for the Athletics All-Star Autograph event tomorrow, Saturday, June 21st at Drake's The Barn at Sacramento. Want to make sure that anyone that's listening, that either yourself or maybe friends that may be interested in attending, be sure to take advantage of this amazing opportunity to meet some of your favorite A's players. So we are going to do a quick ad read advertising this event, and then we will get on back to give our own event announcement and then get on out of here to let you prepare for the Guardians A's game. First pitch, 7:05. So don't go anywhere. A little bit more housekeeping to wrap up before we get on out of here. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. All right. So this Saturday, June 21st, Athletics All-Star Welcome Party at Drake's The Barn in Sacramento. Athletics All-Star Autograph event. They're excited to welcome 2 of the A's newest All-Stars, Mason Miller and Brent Rooker, to Drake's The Barn on Saturday, June 21st, for a special day of autographs, photos, and fan engagement. Join us as we bring Sacramento its first major athletics baseball signings. Some ticket options include an All-Star VIP package where you can receive 2 autographed custom jerseys, 1 from each player, a posed photo op with both players together, Beckett witness authentication on both jerseys. You can also buy a standard autograph ticket, 1 autograph of your choice from either player of either Mason Miller or Brent Rooker. There are add-ons available, including inscriptions, Beckett witness authentication, and so much more, including special guest appearances, Jay from Mojo Sports, live trading card box break featuring UFC star Josh Emmett. Jerseys will be signed and handed out after the photo op. And for anyone attending, please note, strict limit of 1 adult per VIP package. Children may be accompanied by 1 adult. So be sure to check out the events website on Drake's The Barn. Be sure to get your tickets while they are still available. There's a link on their website to purchase them directly. And for more information, for tickets and more info, you can also check out facebook.com/LGC Sports or call 443-413-2336 for more. Like I said, check out Drake's The Barn website or their social media page to be able to get more info and see how you can participate. That's very exciting, by the way. It's just a nice reminder to see what the full opportunity. And I love how Drake's is ingratiating the downtown Sacramento community, embracing the excitement of a new team, a new professional team, a new baseball team in town. And the fans seem to really be eating it up. And that seems to be such a cool opportunity, and wish we were able to go, but we have some prior engagements, so we won't be in the area tomorrow. But very cool for all they're able to experience that, to meet two All-Stars, former All-Stars and probably future All-Stars as well. I think doesn't get much better than that for sure, to get up close and personal with some professional guys. They'll be there from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., I believe. So they'll be there pretty for a good chunk of the day up until they have to go to Sutter Health Park to get ready for the game. So really cool community opportunity there. If you're in Sacramento, be sure to check that out. That'll be a great opportunity to meet two fan favorites and two really, really great all-star baseball players. All right. Now, speaking of Drake's the Barn, we just want to briefly introduce something that is coming to fruition, and then more details will follow over the next week or so. So we are excited that we were able to secure our first A's Day podcast subscriber event. It is going to be occurring at Drake's the Barn on Friday, July 11th. Details still to follow. It looks like it's going to start around 5 or 5:30, but once we confirm that, we're going to put out a social media post. In fact, we're going to be able to put out a collaborative social media post with Drake's the Barn, so that'll be a very cool opportunity to grow into a larger audience for sure. But at this event, there's going to be an opportunity to, and yours truly is going to be there in attendance. They're graciously going to set us up with a booth, and we're going to be providing 2 giveaways throughout the night. So what we're going to do is we're going to be there before the game. So that's why it's like that 5:30 range. And there's going to be one giveaway early in the first hour, and then there'll be a second giveaway in the next hour or so. We are going to be capturing the audience that likes to visit Drake's the Barn prior to going to Sutter Health Park to enjoy the game at 7:05. And then we'll also be there for the audience, whoever may be hanging around watching the A's game on one of the televisions there. But just wanted to start bringing everyone's attention to that. It is going to be a subscriber event. So, and there's going to be more details to this leading up, plenty of reminders for sure, because we want to give everyone an opportunity that wants to come to the Sacramento to enjoy this event to be able to fully participate. But we also want to open this up to anyone that may not be able to come to Sacramento but wants to participate virtually in this giveaway. So, because we want this to be all-inclusive for A's fans everywhere. So, basically, how you're going to be able to enter is by subscribing to our Patreon site, so patreon.com/A'sDay. So, any subscription we receive between now and July 11th, you're going to be automatically entered to win. But definitely the time to do it if you are going to come to that event at Drake's the Barn on Friday, July 11th. Just come up to me. I'll have the QR code for you. We'll figure out the best system that works. You could do it right on your phone. You subscribe. It's just $2 a month. And you'll actually be entered to win one of the autographed baseball cards. So earlier this year, for those that may not know, we had the opportunity to go down to Mesa, Arizona, the home of athletic spring training. And we, thanks to a partnership with Visit Mesa, the local tourism center down there, we were capturing content of local wonders, food places, breweries, attractions, all that good stuff. But we got to spend several days capturing spring training content at their spring training practices, one spring training game. And we got to interact with 17 different athletics players. And during those times, we were asking them different questions to be able to capture reels, get some content, learn more about some of your favorite A's. But then we also accrued some autographed items that we brought to be signed by players too as well. We did that because we wanted to provide different opportunities for you, the lovely audience just like this, and future A's Day audience members too as well. This community is about to increase in size for sure. So hopefully we find a way to engage with one another through the Patreon site, through our social media sites, YouTube, whatever it may be. And please, I would love to be included in those discussions about A's baseball, anything Sacramento, anything in general. If you just want to chat, always here, drop a line. You know how to reach us on our social media sites. But just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. We'll release the full details once we have everything firm and in place in terms of firm timeline of when the event's going to be. We're going to have plenty of posts of once we have that flyer generated and collaborated with Drake's the Barn. I know I'm going to be creating that over the weekend, then going to have to collaborate with the Drake's the Barn event coordinator to make sure it's approved for all of their channels too as well. Shouldn't be too long of a process. but want to make sure we don't give away too much detail that just isn't necessarily there yet. But those items and areas of agenda that I have touched upon, those are going to happen. There's going to be more details that follow. So we'll be able to put a pin in this for now and discuss this more next week. But basically, how you're going to be able to enter the giveaway is join us on the Patreon site for just $2 a month. Follow us on our Instagram page, X, and YouTube channel as well. That'll enter you to win one of the 2 autographed A's baseball cards. So pretty cool opportunity. And we are going to tie it in with one of the drink specials at Drake's The Barn too as well. So again, we'll get into more details once everything is set in stone and on the virtual flyer that will be going out on social media. So looking forward to meeting the good people in downtown Sacramento on Friday, July 11th. If you've been an A's Day fan already, come on in. We'd love to meet you in person. Future A's Day fans, please come on in. A's fans everywhere, come on in. Baseball fans, everyone's welcome. The more the merrier, I say. Cheers to that, and looking forward to a great Friday at Drake's The Barn downtown in Sacramento, which will be coming up rather soon. So looking forward to getting those plans in place over the next several days. And with that, that is the conclusion of another edition of A's Day. On today's show, we recapped what went down in the 4-game set against the Houston Astros. Some dramatics for sure from Nick Kurtz as he hit 2 walk-off home runs to be a big driving force in them splitting the 4-game series with the first place Houston Astros. Later in the show, we previewed what to expect for the weekend series as the A's welcome in the Cleveland Guardians for a 3-game set. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So for those looking to watch, we are about 3 hours away from that. Looking forward to seeing how this series kicks off, see if they're able to build off of that momentum from that walk-off victory last night, or if they're a little gassed and come out a little flat. So hopefully the A's get off to a good start and have this be a solid weekend of baseball. We made a couple of predictions. We do think Tyler Soderstrom will at least hit 1 home run over the weekend, and we do believe that the Cleveland Guardians will take 2 out, or that the A's will take 2 out of 3 from the Cleveland Guardians over the weekend. We do think they'll drop tonight's game before winning both games over the weekend. So looking forward to some good baseball. And then at the end of the show, we made our announcement for our first subscriber event, which will be occurring at Drake's The Barn in Sacramento. So exciting to meet the patrons there on Friday, July 11th. More details to come, most likely sometime next week. That's it. That's a show. We'll be back on Monday to recap what went down over the weekend against the Guardians, as well as preview what their next series holds as they hit the road, start up in Detroit to take on the Tigers. So that'll be a tough challenge for sure. But let's see if they can build some momentum here with some good winning baseball over the weekend. That's enough from me. Once again, I'm your host, Joe Grado. Appreciate each and every one of you spending part of your Friday with us and kicking off your weekend. Hopefully, you're kicking it off in grand style, enjoying some beautiful weather. And if you're going to the ballpark, enjoy some good A's baseball. If you're watching on some TV, enjoy the green and gold as well. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great weekend. We'll talk again on Monday. Holy Toledo, let's go A's.